Me and Dricus have been thinking about this since we fought, before we fought. It is going to be a fucking war. He wants it. I want it. I'm confident. He's confident, but I think that I'm going to piece him apart.
You think your dad beat the shit out of you? Every childhood memory you have is going to come back when I'm in there with you. The one where you lie in bed at night where your dad comes in and he beats the shit out of you.
I will take your fucking soul. You understand? You.
The rivalry between Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis has become one of the most heated in the UFC, fueled by their intense first fight and the controversy that followed.
How that fight ended needed a rematch. Like if it ended any other way, I'd be like, fuck it, dude. But how that fight ended, it needed a rematch. And even when I win the belt again, I'm like, fuck it, it's a belt, dude. I want to fight Dricus because shit wasn't unsettled. I don't give a about the belt. Like, I don't care about that. I want to fight it because it needs to happen and we need to settle it once and for all.
After their last bout at UFC 297, Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis have engaged in a heated exchange of words, intensifying their rivalry ahead of the rematch at UFC 312. Strickland criticized Du Plessis' reliance on wrestling, challenging him to a stand-up fight.
Here's the thing, man. These judges, real bad. Real bad. They don't understand the art of striking. They want you to go be on the short bus like Dricus. They want you to ride the short bus. The man looks like he has Down syndrome, all right? I'm sorry, I don't fight that way. I'm an intelligent man. I'm an intelligent man sometimes, not really. But I like to use the brain, but the people want it. If the judges want it, if fans want it, we're just gonna go in there and put them hands up and, you know, give it to him. Not like that. Not like that, guys.
Recently, an altercation erupted between Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis in the audience. Both fighters were attending the event at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas when a verbal exchange escalated into a physical confrontation. Strickland initiated the brawl by attacking Du Plessis, leading to a brief scuffle before security intervened and escorted Strickland out of the venue.
They tell me the cameras are going to be on you guys. Then he turned around and he did the whole gun thing and I went, whoa. I said, listen, even with that gun you're missing. And he kind of looked around and I said, yeah, look in front of you before I beat your ass. Burns' kid was right there and he leaned over to say something. I know this might go down. I just took Gilbert's kid. And I said, sorry, kid. Yeah. And he went to Toja's kids and there was one chair between us. And I said, well, come on then. And then he just jumped.
Reflecting on the incident, Du Plessis criticized Strickland's behavior, labeling the brawl as terrible and expressing disappointment over the unprofessional conduct.
When he came over the chair, there's only one way to go. I'm either going that way or we are falling backwards and handling that happen. So I just got his legs, got the takedown. As I was on him, I got a few in. Definitely landed some shot like you on top of there because he was like, I mean, if he's on top, he's throwing, that looks like a loss in anybody's book. You want the high ground. And unfortunately, Strickland was on top of a chair and I didn't have the high ground, so I had to make it even.
Their initial clash at UFC 297 in January 2024 was a grueling 5-round war, with Du Plessis winning the middleweight title via split decision. Many believe the fight was too close to call, and Strickland himself was vocal about what he saw as flawed judging criteria. He landed more significant strikes in 4 out of 5 rounds, but Du Plessis' power and well-timed takedowns seemed to sway the judges.
Like more, I got robbed. I feel like the headbutt changed things. It changed the optics, the dynamics, and it's not personal in the sense that I hate Dricus. It's just personal in the sense that we need to fight for the 5-round war and see what happens.
Strickland, never one to hold back, blasted the scoring system, calling it unfair and more suited to wrestling than actual fighting. This decision left a bitter taste in his mouth, setting the stage for an inevitable rematch.
You're not okay wrestling. Well, it's MMA, dude. But even wrestling, dude, it's like, it's such a stupid scoring criteria. Like, you could take someone down and keep them down for 5 seconds. How do you even score that? You did nothing. You took me down for 5 seconds, I get up, and now I'm out striking you. The even score that? Like, as a whole grand scheme of a fight, what did that accomplish? Absolutely nothing. But to judges, oh, his back touched the ground. No. That's a point. Yeah. Like, this ain't collegiate wrestling. Fighting.
After their fight at UFC 297, UFC President Dana White mentioned that he scored the bout 48-47 in favor of Sean Strickland. Upon hearing this, Dricus Du Plessis expressed his disagreement, reportedly responding with, well, bullshit. He acknowledged the fight was close, but believed he had done enough to secure the victory.
Just so for the record, is there some people that think I lost the fight?
Dana actually said he scored it for sure.
I had it 2-2. Going into the last round, and I thought Strickland won the last round.
Dana said it. No, bull.
Now, as they prepare to meet again at UFC 312 on February 8th in Sydney, the tension is at an all-time high. Strickland is determined to prove he was the rightful winner of their first fight, while Du Plessis is eager to silence any doubts and establish himself as the undisputed king of the middleweight division.
Here's the thing, Dutchman. The world knows I won. You know I won. God gave you a gift in that cut, and I still won. I was gonna walk through you for 5 rounds, son, and you know this. I understand that you want to duck me a little bit. UFC, Hunter, Dana, they said it's down, my man, so you give me the date.
Randy Couture, the UFC Hall of Famer himself, spoke highly of Sean Strickland, praising his dedication and skills as both a competitor and a training partner. He described Strickland as an incredible athlete who brings everything a team could want in the gym. He said he's an amazing competitor, he's an amazing guy in the gym, a great training partner. I mean, as somebody who's part of your team, he has everything you want there. I like his chances in that fight. I'm going to be behind him 100%. I'm glad it's happening in February and he's getting back in there. Stylistically, Strickland and Dricus bring very different approaches to the octagon. Strickland is a high-volume striker who relies on constant pressure, slick defense, and a relentless pace to wear down opponents. He has an unconventional but effective style, often standing upright with minimal head movement, using his precise jab and footwork to control the fight. Jared Cannonier shared his thoughts on Sean Strickland's rematch against Dricus, believing Strickland will come back with more intensity and motivation. He acknowledged that their first fight was close, but felt Strickland inflicted more damage. Cannonier predicted that Strickland would use that as momentum in the rematch, looking to make a stronger statement and finish the fight decisively.
Sean coming back with a bit more fire in his belly, but it was close last time. I think Sean did more damage last time as well. I think he's gonna take the momentum that he did more damage and really try to close the deal in their next fight.
Cannonier believed that if Dricus came in off balance or rushed in, Strickland could capitalize on that by landing a stiff jab or a counter jab. He pointed out how Sean's striking, especially his timing and pressure, could put Du Plessis on the defensive.
If he catches Du Plessis off balance, maybe rushing in, catch him with a nice stiff jab or counter slip jab or slip whatever, you know how he does his thing. Puts him on his heels with his teeps and stuff, and keeps the pressure on. I think Sean can get it done.
On the other hand, Dricus is an explosive and unpredictable fighter who mixes power, striking with strong grappling. He isn't the most technical striker, but what he lacks in finesse, he makes up for with sheer aggression and knockout power. His ability to absorb damage and keep moving forward has made him a nightmare for many opponents. Chris Curtis compared fighting Du Plessis to learning the tango with a partner who doesn't know the step. He explained that Du Plessis doesn't follow any clear rhythm or pattern, making it hard for opponents to predict or react to his movements. This unpredictability is what makes him so difficult to fight, as you never quite know what to expect from him. He claimed at Dricus style, saying, "People always ask, how is he doing this? I tell people, it's like trying to learn to tango, but the partner doesn't know the moves." So you're like, what's happening? You're like, he's just doing shit. That's not on beat. He doesn't know the moves. He didn't read the manual. And that's how it's hard to fight Dricus, because you don't really know what he's doing. Joe Rogan has noted that Du Plessis is exceptionally large and has shown considerable improvement over the years, making him a formidable opponent for Strickland. Rogan emphasized that Du Plessis' size and growth as a fighter could give him an advantage in the bout.
Look at him, look at his size, and now look at Dricus Du Plessis.
That dude's huge.
He's huge.
Him and Sean Strickland's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun fight.
Because Dricus is.
I didn't think he was good. I was always hard on Dricus, and then now I'm looking at him like, oh, he beat Robert Whitaker, who is the man, and he beat him down.
He's big, man.
He's huge.
He's so big for that weight class. But Sean Strickland impressed me so much in that Adesanya fight. I was like, my God.
Rainer de Ridder broke down Sean Strickland's performance against Dricus Du Plessis, highlighting how Strickland had success with his jab and front kicks, causing Du Plessis significant damage. He noted that Strickland occasionally took a step back or slowed down during the fight, allowing Du Plessis to gain some momentum and come back. He said, Sean really busted him up with the jab last time and the front kicks, and then when Sean took a round off or took a step back, then Dricus came back. So if Sean can keep the pressure on him for 5 rounds, I'll give Sean a big chance. De Ridder then turned his attention to Du Plessis' potential strategy for the rematch. He pointed out that Du Plessis could have an advantage by mixing up his game plan, especially by introducing more wrestling into the fight. He noted Strickland's upright fighting stance and suggested that Strickland is vulnerable to takedowns. He added, "I think Dricus can mix it up more. If Dricus can shoot on him, Sean is so straight up. It's going to be an entirely different ball game because he's so straight up. He must always be late when somebody shoots on him, but not a lot of people shoot on him. So I think Dricus, if he starts to wrestle a bit more in this fight, he'll have a good chance." Their first fight was a perfect example of how their contrasting styles played out. Strickland controlled much of the action with his jab and constant movement, but Du Plessis landed the bigger shots, particularly in the later rounds. He also secured crucial takedowns, which likely influenced the judge's decision. Sean Strickland acknowledged that there were no bad intentions between him and Dricus Du Plessis, but he made it clear that their rivalry needed to be settled. He also believed Du Plessis knew this as well, implying that both fighters understood the unfinished business between them and the necessity of a rematch.
Just this one was the most unfinished, just, considering the headbutt, the scorecard, the striking, the numbers. This one felt a little bit more unfinished, and I got no ill will towards Dricus, but we got to settle, and he knows it too.
Strickland then spoke about how much fighting means to him, explaining that every victory matters, regardless of whether it's for a championship or not. He expressed how his entire life has been dedicated to fighting, and while winning a UFC title was a great achievement, he viewed every fight as important.
Oh, of course, man. I've been doing this my entire fucking life, but it doesn't matter if it's that fight, any fight. I mean, any fight you win, you gotta understand, dude, this is my life. Any fight you win matters. And yeah, is winning fucking big gold belt cool? It's cool, man. Of course it's cool.
Strickland believes he did enough to win and has made it clear that in the rematch, he wants a stand-up war with no wrestling involved. He even proposed a gentleman's agreement for Du Plessis to keep the fight standing, but Du Plessis quickly shut that down, stating that a true fighter adapts to every situation, not just one aspect of the sport. Du Plessis shared his thoughts on the rematch with Sean Strickland, stating that both fighters are already familiar with each other's strengths and weaknesses. He anticipated that the initial feeling out period would be brief, likely lasting only a minute or two before the fight would shift into an all-out battle. He said, "He knows what I bring. I know to a certain extent what he brings to the table, so I think the feeling out process is going to be a lot shorter, maybe a minute, maybe 2, and then it's going to be a full-on fight, like we saw from the end of, I would say, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round in our first fight." Dricus Du Plessis stated that he is determined to either knock out, submit, or TKO Sean Strickland, but he is also open to a dominant decision victory. Du Plessis made it clear that if the fight goes the full 5 rounds with him dominating Strickland throughout, he would be satisfied with the decision.
For me, I don't care if this fight goes to a decision. It just has to be a dominant decision. I'm either going to knock him out, submit him, TKO, or just a dominant performance. If he can, stick it out for 5 rounds of me dominating him wherever this fight goes, then I'm happy with a decision like that. I just need to know that I gave my all and that I deserve to win that fight.
Khamzat Chimaev has expressed his interest in facing the winner of the upcoming rematch between Dricus Du Plessis and Sean Strickland. He has stated that he plans to fight and defeat the winner of their bout, aiming to defend the title in Abu Dhabi afterward.
I think early next year we're going to have Sean and Dricus Du Plessis again. Who do you think wins that fight?
I think now on it's going good for Du Plessis. I think he's more motivated, getting more money, and he's happy with that. So he will fight for his belt. So I think I go a little bit for that. Sean being there, and I don't think so he care about if he wins, he lost, So he just fight and have money.
The rematch presents a fascinating strategic battle. Strickland is expected to come in with the same high-pressure approach, but he'll need to find ways to make his strikes count more in the eyes of the judges. His volume was impressive in the first fight, but he lacked the kind of devastating shots that stand out on the scorecards. John Wood discussed the closeness of the first fight between Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis. He pointed out that Strickland has a unique and unpredictable fighting style, which adds an element of chaos to his fights. Wood acknowledged that both fighters had a chance to feel each other out in their previous meeting, and he believed their rematch would likely be another close contest.
It was such a close fight in the first one, and Sean obviously brings just a crazy weird style and pace. They've been in there with each other now, and they, felt it out. I honestly think it'll be another close fight, but I do believe that maybe, it ends up kind of the same way. If Sean, obviously we've had Sean here in the room, and I've trained him, and the dude is just as tough as they come.
Wood continued, stressing that Strickland needs to fight more aggressively in the rematch to avoid another narrow decision. He acknowledged Strickland's toughness and world-class skill, but emphasized that he needs to make a more assertive move to secure a clear victory. If Strickland doesn't change his approach, Wood believed that Du Plessis would likely edge out another win.
If he goes out there to fight his fight, he's a world-class guy. But he's got to take it to Dricus a little bit more and make it not such a close, definitive go. He needs to make it a definitive go. If it goes the same way, and I don't know, like I said, that the way he's been fighting, the style that he's fought, I imagine him to keep the same kind of thing. I think Dricus probably ekes it out again.
Outside the octagon, the drama has only intensified. Strickland has enlisted the help of former rival Alex Pereira, who famously knocked him out 3 years ago, but has since become a friend and training partner. Having a striking specialist like Pereira in his corner could be a game changer, as he may provide Strickland with new tactics to counter Du Plessis' aggressive style.
And I'll tell you what you got fly in your head, bro.
But where does your sparring partner Alex Pereira fit into the equation?
Alex, listen, you're not a poor Brazilian anymore. You got more money than all of us. Just shit the f down. Let me fight the Dutchman, then we can send him your way.
He was in the corner in the first fight too. I mean, they don't even speak the same language. It doesn't really make much of a difference whether he's in the corner. I mean, Strickland can barely understand his own coach. He's also American. How's he going to understand Alex Pereira?
Chris Curtis described Dricus Du Plessis' fighting style in a very unique and humorous way. He likened it to two coked-out chimpanzees in a phone booth, emphasizing the chaotic and unpredictable nature of Du Plessis' approach. Curtis remarked that Du Plessis' style often leaves people scratching their heads, as it doesn't follow conventional fighting patterns. He said, two cooked-out chimpanzees in a phone booth. Like, I think, honestly, that's just how Dricus fights. It's like, what do you do? Everyone I know has always clowned on Dricus the way he fights. It's fucking wild, but you know what? God damn, it's effective. Chris Curtis continued to express his excitement about the rematch between Dricus Du Plessis and Sean Strickland, emphasizing how awkward both fighters are in the octagon. He referred to the fight as a clash between two of the most awkward fighters in the division, making it an interesting and unpredictable matchup. He said, I really just want to see this play out because it's such an awkward clash of two really awkward, probably the two most awkward people in the division fighting each other. So like, there's a lot to take away from that. It's like the short bus special. Like, I'm very excited. This fight between Dricus Du Plessis and Sean Strickland is shaping up to be a battle of unpredictability and raw aggression. With both fighters known for their awkward and unorthodox styles, the rematch promises fireworks, and it's sure to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Will Strickland be able to control the chaos with his pressure, or will Dricus' unique approach prove too much for him to handle? Who do you think will come out on top in this clash of the most unpredictable fighters in the division? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more updates as we get closer to this thrilling showdown.